Welcome to Entrepreneurs International Network, where entrepreneurs learn, network, and grow. I'm Roger Killen, the organizer. Today, Nicki Chang-Powless is going to help us to attract quality clients with a special type of talk. Now, we'd like to get to know Nicki, other than the professional she is. We'd like to get to know her a little bit better personally. And to that end, I have 3 questions for Nicki. Nicki, I bet you there's a fun fact in your life that you would like us to know. Would you please share it?
Okay, fun fact is my husband and I love to travel. And so the fun fact is, did you know that there are 18 species of penguins in the world, and I've seen 8 of them in their habitat, not in the zoo, in their habitat. And I've seen 8 out of 18, and that's how we plan our vacations, is where can we see penguins?
Well, based upon your Facebook posts, you're also foodies, right?
Yes, we are foodies too. And because of COVID, and the COVID closed the world to traveling. So my daughter loves to cook, and we every week we pull out a country from around the world, and she researches and she makes the cuisine from that particular country. So that's how we've been traveling during COVID.
Your daughter's my kind of girl. Second question for you, Nicki. What's the wildest thing that you've ever done?
Okay. My husband and I loved music festivals. We love music festivals. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about me, and it's kind of a wild thing, is they know I'm a photographer, but at one point in time, I freelanced with a rock magazine. So I was one of those ones with the media pass between the crowd and the stage, taking photos, concert photos, and I was also the one of the 2016 Juno Award photographers in Calgary. So that's kind of one of the wildest things. Like, a lot of people go like, "What? You're one of those concert photographers?" And I say, "Yes, that was me. That was a previous life."
Nicki, you're full of surprises. And the last question I have for you is, what was one of the toughest decisions or choices that you've had to make?
Well, to tell you the truth, I talked about my photography, and one of the toughest decisions I had to make was, do I stay on the course with my photography and make it a business, or do I switch to my my business consulting side? So they were 2 very good businesses, and the tough decision is there's only so many hours in a day, and if you're going to focus on one, the other one will be sacrificed. So I made the tough decision. I put my photography on the side, and I decided to focus on my business consulting.
Any regrets?
No, actually what I do is I try to incorporate the 2. So if you watch my social media posts, you will see some of my fine art photography come through.
Beautiful. Okay, messages for participants. Please, if you would, turn on your video, come on camera. Nicki gets her energy from observing you. And whenever she sees a black rectangle with a name in the middle of it, that's not exactly energizing. So if you can, help Nicki help you by coming on camera. Second point, please stay muted. And if you have questions, type them into the chat. In the course of her workshop, I will ask your questions to Nicki in batches. About every 10 minutes, I'll interrupt Nicki, see if this is a good time to present questions to her. Rest assured, you'll get your question answered, but the way to do it is to type it into the chat. Now, the workshop is going to be recorded, and you'll be sent a link to the recording. Likely, you'll be sent the link tomorrow, or at latest on Monday. Just know you will get a link to the recording. And now, anything else I need to say? I don't think so. Nicki, are you ready to knock our socks off?
Yes. Should I do my screen share now, Roger?
Screen share. I will come off camera.
Okay. Let me move some of my windows here. Can everybody see my title slide? Yes? Oh, I just want to make sure that everybody can see it. Excellent. Okay, before I really jump into this, I did get a better idea of what, who we have in the audience today. I want to ask everyone, is who here does speaking right now? So maybe a show of hands, put your hand up. Okay, we have a few. Who would like to do speaking? Who would, okay, definitely see more hands come up. The other question I have is who does interviews? Who does interviews? Podcast interviews, media interviews? Okay, we've got a few. And just so you know, I categorize in my talk, I'm categorizing interviews and speaking all together as one speaking, okay? I'm gonna move on to what's in it for me. So you might be asking, what's in it for me for coming today? So I'm gonna ask you these questions. Do you want to attract more of your quality new clients coming through speaking? So who wants that? Okay, I see some head nods here. This is great. Are you looking for ways to get the best return on your investment from your marketing dollars? Who wants that? Yes, you're in the right place here. And the last question is, do you want to reach a larger audience faster? Yes, that's the key, the larger audience faster. So if you answered yes to one or more of these questions, then you're definitely in the right place, because these are the questions that you're going to receive answers to today. I'll share with you, this is my world for 25 years. And my idea of a presentation back when I was in corporate was doing presentations to management in a boardroom. Okay, that was my idea of a presentation. And then when I started my business, I started to run workshops. This is what I thought speaking was all about. Workshops are great. I just had to fill them, right? Then I started attending networking events. Who's been to networking events? Yeah, we love our networking events, right? This was back, I decided to go to networking events to grow my business. Now, this was back in the days when we were in person. The people I connected with were the ones that I was having one-on-one conversations at the networking event, right? And at a 1-hour networking event, I would come home with, maybe 6 to 12 business cards. Who remembers those days when we were passing out business cards, right? We might be even coming back to that, right? Definitely. So the people who were really getting noticed at these events were the speakers, right? They were the ones who were speaking to the entire crowd. So I started to apply for speaking spots. Okay. And I spoke at many events and I was getting noticed. I was also considered a good speaker because I was getting called back from event organizers like Roger, right? Roger calls me back. He says, can you do another speaking spot? This was great, except I wasn't getting any sales. I was getting lots of pats on the back and I was getting compliments, but that really wasn't enough because I still had bills to pay. So this is really embarrassing to admit, right? That I had bills to pay and I wasn't getting any clients. Now, I was already a pretty good speaker. I didn't have to worry about nerves and getting in front of a crowd. I didn't have to picture my audience in underwear or anything like that. What I was missing was a system to create a signature talk that really engages in people that want to take action and invest in my program. So personally, I didn't have the time and patience to figure out what would work and what was working and what was not. So I really wanted to fast track my results. So I took programs to help me structure my talk that would get results. So at my first solo event, using the new system that I had learned, I was able to fill the room. This was a photo from that first event. I made $6,000 that first time. The system works. This is when I recognized that when it comes to speaking, that there's just different types of speaking. There's speaking to educate, which is what I was mainly doing. There's also speaking to motivate, speaking to inspire. Now, all of these are different types of talks, but they're all very different from speaking to sell. Because in the end, isn't that what we want? We want to be able to attract the people that we want to work with. So who agrees with me on that? That there is another type? Yes, absolutely. I see the hands go up. So we want our audience to invest in what we do. This is why we do podcast interviews, we do media interviews, we speak on the stage and summits, hosting our own events, getting people in. This is a system that leads people to want to work with us. So the ultimate goal is to, one, attract our ideal client, and two, it is to get more sales, right? Isn't that what we all want? Now, this is what my world looks like today. My audience is from a little tiny camera on my computer right there, and I'm speaking to a little blue dot. I live my life on Zoom these days. This is how I was able to grow my business from being local in Calgary to being an international company with clients in the US, the UK, Europe, and Australia. I also speak a lot at summits. And I am constantly being invited to be guest speakers at many other events. So today I speak for two reasons. So number one is speaking is my best source of credibility, because people see you in action. Then when they see me in action, they get attracted to me. So people don't buy on products alone anymore. They want to get to know me. I can only put in so much into social media posts. Speaking is how they see me in action. And that's the first reason. The second reason why I speak is 80% of my revenue is either from direct results of my speaking or someone saw me at an event and reached out. Isn't this what we all want, right? Having them come to you. Now, the system that I've learned had made such an impact on my life that I became a certified trainer, and now I teach and support others to get these results. My work made such an impact on my clients that I started winning awards for my work. I won Best New Business Venture in 2018 and Entrepreneur of the Year in 2019. And in 2018, I launched my first book, Putting the Pieces Together, Your Survival Guide to the First 5 Years in Business. Outside of work, my husband and I have been together for over 30 years. We have 2 adult kids. We love to travel, whether it's flying somewhere or lately more road trips. Now, and Roger mentioned earlier, we are foodies, where we are currently doing the Around the World food tour. We are on country 80 out of 200 in the world. And I do love my photography. And last Christmas, I decided, you know what? I learned to play the saxophone. I'm not kidding. I took up a saxophone and I said, I'm going to learn this. Had no idea how to play the saxophone. It's been a lot of fun. So if you follow me on Facebook, you will see my travel adventures along with my photography and the Around the World food tour. Now, my dream is to take my business on the road and speak on international stages with my husband by my side. Work, visit new lands, photographing it, and having fun. My mission is to help 1 million business owners around the world make their impact. My vision is to create a nonprofit foundation to help women in underdeveloped countries to be independent and to break through the cycle of poverty and abuse by providing funding to get equipment, whether it's a sewing machine or computers, and give them the skills to be independent and a contributing member to their community. 5% of the proceeds of my sales from my programs are set aside for this foundation. This is why I do what I do. Now, let's get back to speaking. Why would you choose speaking and webinars? Well, as I mentioned earlier, speaking is a great way to make a high impact. they get to experience you in action. That's what your audience gets, right? And it's fine to tell people something, but you will get better results when you're able to show them and they see you in action. Now, when I say live talk, this is the same as a webinar, or we can call it a masterclass or a workshop or a live training event. Whatever it is, it's all the same. We're doing a single presentation to a large group, whether it's online or in person. What's nice about this approach is that once the talk is created, it's just rinse and repeat. So it's one master talk. That's it. I call it your signature talk. So whenever somebody asks you to speak, your prep time goes down significantly. Just maybe fine tune and tweak for the specific audience and you're good to go. So you can use your talk as a webinar, or you can use the same content for interviews or summits. So again, the prep time goes down significantly. Now, what would you do with all that extra time? So for me, it's spending more time with my husband and doing the things we love, like road trip. So I want you to write this down because I'm giving you great notes here. Is one master signature talk is all you need. Now, many people will say, well, I don't have a large list. How do we get people to the room, right? Who do we invite to our talk? Well, that's okay, because there are many strategies that you can use to fill the room. And I'm going to go through some of these strategies later on in my presentation. So when you have a system on how to fill the room, you will have a captive audience. Now, this is Tammy Cho with Path to the Heart. She had her first webinar ready to go, and she had a small list. So with my guidance, she was so happy to get 40 people registered for her very first webinar. Your time is worth money. You can connect with more people for the same amount of time. So if you are able to get to 30 people to attend a 1-hour webinar, this will save us 30 one-on-one coffee meetings with each individual, right? So I'm going to ask you to put this into the chat. How many hours do you think it would take you to do 30 one-on-one meetings? So put it into the chat. What do you think? To do 30 one-on-one meetings? More like days? Yes, 30 hours. Okay. Ryan says 100 hours, 40 hours. Okay, excellent. So we've got a wide range here. So back in the in-person days, there were a lot of coffee and plus there was driving time, especially if you live in Vancouver. I live in Calgary, where it's a lot of closer proximity. So don't forget about the time to book the appointments. And if there are cancellations, the time to rebook. And some people are talkers and they go past the hours. Now your 30 hours can easily become 60. Okay. Wouldn't you say that a better return on investment in your time would be through speaking, right? So I do want you to write this one down. Is speaking has the best return on investment because it reaches a lot of people. Now, when you're able to get in front of this many people, you're not only saving time from meeting each of them, is we can make sales faster and bring in more revenue. So if we were to take those 60 hours that it takes to do those one-on-one meetings, that is 1.5 business weeks or 7.5 business days. I can create a whole new course during that time. Or I can go on vacation. In fact, when you sell in that 60-minute spot and probably even pay for your vacation. So remember, I mentioned to you earlier on my very first talk, I sold $6,000. Now, another thing about online webinars is we are able to greatly expand our reach. So in one of my talks, I had registrants to my program from Australia and Israel. right? Makes for time zone challenges, but those are good problems to have. Now, numbers speak for itself. So let's look at the numbers. So if your audience doesn't know you very well, then you can expect to get, let's say, 10% to say yes to working with you. So if your offer is $1,000, then it's $3,000 in one talk. Now, let's say the host knows you and vouches for you, then the number can go up to 20%. This means your income can go up to $6,000 for that one session. That's pretty good for a few hours to do a talk, right? Now, when we do this consistently, and that's the key word, consistently, and we speak at 2 events a month, that's $9,000 per month, or a yearly income of $127,000. Now, if your offer is $2,000, then your yearly income can be $254,000. Now, tell me, who would like to have an extra $254,000 of income coming in? Yes, I see double hands going up. Okay, so when you know what you're doing and you're doing it regularly and consistently, you will see results. Now, this is Audrey Sinclair. She is a nutritionist. I supported her with her talk, and she had 38 participants attend her first webinar. She had no mailing list. So she partnered with a chiropractor, and he mailed out to his list, and she just showed up. So having 38 people show up, that's pretty good for the first time. Now, this is what happened at her first webinar, is she got 10 sales from her first webinar. That's really impressive. Now, what happened after the event is she got 7 more referrals as a result of her talk, and 7 more sales. This was incredible for her very first webinar. So another interesting fact that I want to share with you about Audrey, she is not a techie. I remember helping her the night before go through her how to launch PowerPoint on Zoom so she could see her notes. So you can see, is when you have a good supportive community behind you, you can achieve these results. They're there for you. So you might be asking, the question is, why aren't more people doing this? And it's mainly because people don't know how, okay? It's in the systems. So, and it's being able to follow predictable steps. So if you want more confidence, presence, and sales, then you need a system that works. So it's not magic or luck. It's having a system with these predictable steps. So remember earlier, I said that people speak to educate, they speak to motivate, and they speak to inspire. When you speak to sell, it's taking the same content, but putting it into a framework and presenting the content in a way that makes it attractive for people to want to take action and to work with you. Now, I want you to write this down. This is a huge key. Is the key to successful speaking for entrepreneurs is in the system. It really is. It's in the system. Now, when you know how to position your content in the system that works, then you too will be able to have that success. And when you have the success, you too can have the freedom of doing the things you love with the people you love. You'll be able to experience life to the fullest. Now, my husband and I love our cars. We also love to travel, and you can see a picture, one of my pictures of penguins on this sheet, on this page here. And we also visiting the rainforest of Peru. And what you see in my hand is we're about to eat one of those gooey little worms that's supposed to be good for asthma. And, I'm sitting here going, hey, when you're in Peru, do like the Peruvians. So this is the lifestyle that speaking allows me to have. Now, how many people would like to have a lifestyle of doing the things you love, right? Yes? Okay, excellent. Now, a well-crafted webinar can fill your events and workshops. It can launch and sell products. It can invite people for a private session. It could be a one-on-one discovery call, or it's a strategy to fill your high-ticket programs. So when you do have a well-crafted webinar, you'll be able to achieve all of these things. My goal today is to show you how to attract the quality clients using speaking, so you can have more clients and have more time to live your passion and the dream. Roger, I'm going to ask you right now, are there any questions? Because this is kind of a break here.
No, there are no questions.
Okay, then I'll just keep moving. Pardon me?
Keep on trucking.
Okay, thank you. So over the next 30 minutes or so, the information that I'm going to share with you are the very critical pieces of information that will allow you to look at your marketing in a very different way and to get more clients. So I'm going to share with you the steps to getting more quality clients, quality being the key word. I'm going to show you 3 steps that is part of my Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery program. So this is a 3-day event. I won't be able to cover everything in our time, but I'm going to give you some key highlights and give you some real content.
You got a question? Do you want to take it?
Sure.
Should you host your own webinar or try to get on somebody else's webinar?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Should you host your own webinar or try to get on somebody else's webinar?
You can do both. Getting on somebody else's webinar is a great way to get onto their list because they have an audience that you don't have. So that is a great way of expanding your reach. And I'll talk a little bit more about extending your reach because that's in step 3. But I would say, ideally, you want to get on other people to have them host you. However, when you're starting out and you don't have those connections yet, you start off by hosting your own. Is that fair? Who asked that question? Did that make sense?
Jason asked the question.
Okay. And then Jason asked another question. Should you pay to be on a summit? Yeah, that's the question, right, Roger? Yeah. So should you pay to be on a summit? I'm going to say it depends on the summit, right? Do they have a large reach? Do they have the audience that you're looking for? And that's one of the key things that I will talk about later is when you're talking about summits or any stages that you're looking at, do they have the audience that is your audience? Because it doesn't help if somebody has a reach of 10,000 people, but it's not your people. Right? If you're in the health industry and these are business owners, well, and they might or might not be health oriented, wouldn't it be better if you got onto a summit that had health people in there who are health conscious, right? So that's just sort of one example to look at. So when it says, should you pay? It really depends. What are they giving you for what you're paying? A lot of the summits, you don't have to pay. Right? And so that everybody organizes it slightly different. So you're going to have to use your discretion on that. Is that helpful, Jason? Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next part of my presentation. And that is about the 3 steps. And like I mentioned, these are based on my Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery program. And so I'm going to promise to give you as much information as possible here today and to show you how to attract your quality clients through speaking. So I'm going to suggest, if you haven't already, grab that pen and paper because I've been known to give great information and I want to share as much with you as possible. So the Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery program training is based on 3 key steps. And that's what I'm going to be covering today are the 3 key steps. The first step is really around design. This is designing a marketing master plan that is in alignment with you and your business. So these are the steps that people take to get visible in front of the right audience. And I'll be going through this in more detail. The second step is around delivering a powerful message and attracting the people that you really want to work with. So you may have the steps in your master plan on what to do. You still have to have the message. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that today. And finally, the last step is you have your master plan and you have your message. The last step is around dazzling the world with your message and to be visible. So this is about how to grow your reach. Now, we believe that you are here to make an impact in this world, and these are the steps to get you there. And let's jump into this. Before I jump into this, hang on. Okay, are we ready for step number one? Yes. Okay, so step number one is around design. Now, marketing activities. Let's make this interactive and let's go to the chat. Tell me what some of the ways that we can use to market our business. So let's put it into the chat. Okay, how do we market our business? I heard people talk, okay, JV partners, absolutely. Somebody is messaging me directly, so you might want to make sure you're putting it to everyone. So dangle service to add value, SEO, social media, that's what's, yes. Yes, word of mouth. I think Sandy was doing it directly to me. Nobody else could see. Absolutely. Any other ways that we can market our business? I heard somebody earlier talk about Instagram, email list. Yes, Roger, email list. Yes. I'm looking this way because that's where my chat is. Anybody else? Networking, advertising. Yes, networking again. Okay, I'm going to show you what some of the ways to that you can use to market your business. Okay, networking. Definitely networking is a great way of meeting people. Email marketing, and that's sending emails to your list. I had mentioned this earlier, is speaking on the stages, whether it's in person on a stage or through a webinar. The other thing is you could be doing podcasts, social media. You could do pay-per-click advertising, flyers, depending on what type of business you are, flyers might make sense, right? Media, when I say media, I'm talking about print, TV, radio, that's part of media. You could also be blogging, right? And then earlier, Sandy, who's in SEO. SEO is another way to get to the top of the search engines. Another way is you could write a book like I did, right? It's another way of marketing your business. Now, I'm going to share with you. A lot of people are really confused. Looking at that list is which one should we choose? And that is one of the biggest questions that people have. And I'm going to share with you how that works. And to share that with you is I'm going to take you back to your elementary school days. Who remembers the solar system? This is probably the last time you saw it was in elementary school. Yes? Yes, the solar system. So the solar system is based on the concept that the sun is in the center of the solar system and that the planets rotate around the sun, right? Makes sense, right? Simple concept. Now, I want you to think about this very carefully. If something happened to the sun, would you not agree with me that it would affect how the planets rotate? Does that, like, if something happened to the sun, it's going to affect how the planets rotate. Of course, that's the way it works. Now, based on this premise is we're going to look at our marketing solar system. So the marketing solar system follows along the same principles. If something happens to the sun, it will affect the planets. And now we're going to look at each one of these pieces. Number one, we're going to start off by looking at the sun. And the sun represents the people we serve. This is our target market. You will see how when we change our target market, it changes the other planets. And the first planet we're going to start off with is attract. This is your message. This is the message. This is what you're saying to people. And the way I want to describe it is I'm going to use a massage therapist as an example. So a massage therapist provides massage therapy services. Fairly obvious. Now, this particular massage therapist decides she wants to target stay-at-home moms. So in her marketing message, she might say something along the lines, come, get away from the kids for a couple of hours. Enjoy a nice, relaxing massage to de-stress. And then you can go back to being the best mom possible. Who's got kids and who can relate to that? Because I'm in. If I've got young, rambunctious kids, I'm in, right? This massage therapist decides she now wants to attract seniors. Would that last message resonate with them? No, probably not. So instead, she might say something along the lines, come get a massage so we can work through your muscle pain and we can give you more joint mobility so you can be pain-free and enjoy life to the fullest and spend time with your grandkids, right? It's the exact same service, but you can see how when we changed our target market, our messaging changed, okay? We made them they are very different. So when we know how to put together the right message and combine it with the right words and images, it will naturally attract the people that we want to work with. Our next planet is expand. This is how we grow our business. And going back to the massage therapist, when she's targeting the stay-at-home moms, where she's going to advertise is she's going to hang out wherever parents hang out, right? Wherever stay-at-home moms hang out. So it could be at the community hall. It could be at the hockey rink. It could be at playgroups. It could be at schools. However, if she's marketing to seniors, it's going to be very different because those places aren't where they're at. For seniors, she might be advertising in places like the pharmacy where they're constantly getting their prescriptions renewed. Or she might be advertising at seniors' homes or in seniors' magazines, those types of things. So I think you can get the gist of what I'm trying to say is the strategy that you would use is different when you change who you really want to serve. So when you know how to choose the right places to expand and grow your networks, whether that's social media or whether that's networking or your advertising, you will know exactly where you should be investing your precious time to get the best results and the best return on your investment. So when we look at our marketing solar system, we see that people we want to serve will be greatly impacted on how we attract them and how we expand our efforts. So this is really key, and I want you to write this down, is your target market affects everything you do. Bottom line, it affects everything. Now, many people do struggle with the target market and their messaging, and I agree, it's not easy to get that target market. So it's not a matter of picking it out of a hat or throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks, or filling out a form and figuring out what it is. So it is really a process to uncover this. So when you know how to uncover the perfect niche for you, and how to create that message that's customized for this, then you will be able to better attract quality clients much faster. Now, did you know that 55% of marketing companies say they don't have enough information to get great results? What this means is many companies go to marketing companies or web designers or whatever, anybody helping you with the marketing, is the reason they're not getting any results is because the clients don't have clarity on who their target market is or their messaging. So when this is missing, it will impact the result. So you can do the advertising, but if your message is not resonating with people, it's like throwing money out the window. So you want to avoid spending money on marketing, and not getting calls. So we want to make sure that those two pieces are really in alignment. It's about learning what each activity does, why you would choose one specific strategy over the other. So are you at the right stage for it? Do you have the right components for it to be successful? What are the right ones specifically? What's right for one person may not be right for another company. So when it comes to designing your marketing master plan, we do go over all the options in more detail at Marketing Mystery to Marketing Master, because there's not enough time to go through everything today, right now. And we would be here all day. So these are questions we do answer at the 3-day event. So that was step number 1. The step number 2 is around delivering the powerful message to attract the people that we want to work with. And when you spend your time doing the marketing activities we talked about earlier, it's important that that powerful message to deliver. So when you have that powerful message, you will have the leads coming in from your marketing efforts. Now, when I say message, I'm talking about what you're saying on the stages, what you are saying in interviews and summits, what you're saying in networking events, your social media, your webinar. It's what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. So earlier I talked about putting together a single talk. Okay, this is your master signature talk. It's from this talk that you're going to get your content for your interviews, your summits, your networking events, your social media. You don't have to build new content every time. It's already there. Easy, isn't it? Who wants easy? Who says it's easy? Yes, one talk and you get all of this stuff, right? So what is the key to a powerful message? The key to a powerful message, which I mentioned earlier, is, I'm going to repeat it again. It's in the people you want to serve or your target market. Remember, I said, making sure you write this down, is your target market affects everything you do. Did you know that 72% of consumers say that they only engage in marketing messages that are customized to their specific interests? Now, buyers these days are more sophisticated. It's not about what you do. It's about what you can do for me. Okay, it's when there are so many people who are offering the similar services, the ones that people are resonating with most are the ones that they can relate to. So it's all in the messaging. So when you know the system on how to put together the message, it will naturally attract the people that you really want to work with. Now, this is Paige Stevenson. She had attended the same networking event for many years. So each month she would get in front of the group, she would do her 60-second introduction, and she would sit down, and that would be it. Now, she wasn't getting very many results. So after working with us, we really helped her refine her target market. And we came up with an introduction. She came up with a new introduction using our system and collaboration. Okay. And collaboration is having a group helping you improve and make it better. Okay. Then at the next networking event she went to, she got up, she did her 60-second introduction, and she came home and she was so excited. She said, Nikki, this is the first time they asked me for my business card. She was so happy, right? So when you have a system and the community in place to help you test what is working and what's not working, you will have a stronger message that will attract more people faster, like Paige did. So who would want to have more people coming to you instead of you chasing them, right? Who does? Yes, absolutely. Yes, we want them coming to us. So this is about attracting our ideal clients. So you know your people are out there. They're waiting for you to show up. You just have to tell them you're there. Now, I want you to write this down. This is the key to having a powerful message, and that is to make that connection with your audience. So when you know how to make that connection, your ideal audience will naturally come to you. Now, we do go through this in more detail in Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery, and we're also going to be putting together your 60-second introduction at that session. So step 2 is about delivering a powerful message to attract your ideal client. Let's move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is to dazzle the world with your message and be visible. We want to be speaking to a full audience, and we want that standing ovation. Now, our circle of influence is limited in size. Okay, we may have like thousands of followers on our social media. Even then, they don't see all our posts because of the algorithms. So how do we go beyond onto the other side of the fence to grow? And to do that, this is where you make relationships with power partners. Power partners are those who service a similar group of people as you do. Now, your network can grow exponentially and you can grow beyond your borders. So I want you to make sure you write this down in your notes, is power partners are the key to growth. Your power partners can get you onto stages and get you into podcasts, and they can get you in front of their audience, having them host you for a talk. So in Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery, we will be going into more detail on how to find and build those relationships with the ideal power partner so you can dazzle the world with your message. And when you're able to dazzle the world with your message, you can have the freedom to do the fun things with the people you love and experience life to the fullest. Now, as you can see, these are the steps to attract quality clients, new clients coming in through speaking, and to be able to reach a larger audience and make the impact you were meant to make. Now, I know I have given you a lot of information here today, and it can be overwhelming. I've got you covered. I want to remind you that the cost of not addressing the problem now is that many people end up spending in excess of time meeting with people for one-on-one coffees. Yes, they can make a lot of friends along the way, but this is time that's lost and gone. Then they get into excessive overwhelm and stress because there are bills to be paid, and they get exhausted trying to get clients. It's a lot of work when they don't know what to do, and it affects all areas of their life, from their relationship to their health. Now, I get it. Now, I want you to take a moment to imagine this. Imagine you have all the systems in place and you decide you're going to host a webinar. You get people invited and registered effortlessly. You have so many participants on your Zoom room window. You have to scroll to see the next group of registrants. Imagine after the event, your email, it just keeps dinging because another order has been placed. You have the capacity to make one average salary at just one event. All of this is possible when you have the right systems in place. Now, we highly recommend that you get a mentor to get results faster. So to guide you through the process and the pitfalls, whether it's me or someone else, it doesn't really matter. It's getting the right mentor will help you take the leap to reach your ultimate goal, which is to achieve the level of success you want and deserve. So whether you want to work with us or someone else, it's about getting to the other side and living your dream. This is why I want to invite you to Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery. This is a live 3-day online event where you will create your marketing master plan in 3 days without paid ads. This is where you're going to learn how to choose from the many different marketing strategies and what is best for you. Develop your powerful message, which includes your 60-second introduction, and how to dazzle the world and attract your ideal client. Now, you're going to receive the tools to make these decisions. And by the end of the event, you're going to know exactly what you need to do in the next 90 days to get more visible and have more quality leads. This will be a game changer for your business. And your investment is 3 days of your time and $47. And Roger he has already put the information into the chat. And so to register for it, it is marketingmystery to marketingmastery.com. And I want to leave you with this. Vision without action is merely a dream. Vision with action can change the world. We believe that you are here to make a difference. We believe that business can be simple when you have the right support. This will free yourself up for more time to spend with your family and friends and enjoy and have fun in life and live your passion. So it's been a pleasure having you here today, and I hope to see you at Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery.
Thank you, Nikki. Nikki, I'm getting a message that the page is not loading, the marketingmystery.com.
Okay, I will, probably because it might be missing the HTTP. So here, I'm going to copy and paste it in here. Do we have any questions or?
No, it looks like, well, I have a question.
Okay.
My market is experts with creative ideas. Now, there's no such thing as a list of experts with creative ideas. So how do I go about finding my market in order to lay on my market my important message?
So what I would do, Roger, is really dig deep into what type of messages are these people giving. So, and I know when it comes to, TEDx style talks, it's a wide variety of topics. However, if you're able to narrow down what type of topics are best suited for your types of talks and do extensive profiling into that demographics, you'll see way more things come out. Does that kind of make sense?
Yep, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, it's going deep. And to tell you the truth is, when it comes to profiling your ideal client, is sometimes it's the most minuscule thing, character trait that takes it over the edge. And it's a process of uncovering it, talking to people, being smarter who you want to serve. Because by the way, Roger, I'll share with you, is so many people I know, they start off with one target market. And as they're dealing with that target market more and more and getting to know them better, then it shifts. Right? So you have to be open for the shift. You have to listen to see what people are saying, right? And what they're guiding you. So it's looking at all the pieces of the puzzle and saying, it's like, okay, what am I hearing from these people? Who are the type of people that are attracted to this type of talk, right? Or your service. Is that helpful, Roger?
It was. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have time for a couple more questions. If anyone would like to type into the chat. You're being thanked. Sandy wants to know, do you have other dates available? Jeff says he can't make it in the morning on April 21. Will there be a recording?
Okay, so I run this event twice a year. And if you can't make it for part of it, that is fine. If the VIP allows you to have the recording. However, the way the 3-day event is structured is I'm not just going to teach the whole time for 3 days. My voice will give out, right? There's going to be a lot of exercises. So this is a hands-on section. where you're working on your business. So I highly recommend that you turn off all distractions and work on your business. And the way I've structured it is the exercises is you're also going to be a lot of group shares. So guess what? We're doing networking at the same time. So we're meeting other people and making connections, because I do talk about the power partners. You never know if your power partner is in that room, right? And so I've given people the venue to be able to do that at this event.
Couple of questions. Well, Francis wants to know what are the times of the event?
The event is 3 days in Pacific time zone. It is from 9 until 5 every day.
Hernan asked the question, I have an understanding of my target market, which is anyone with damaged property, but how do I define them or lead them in my direction?
That is a whole flow, and that is that's a journey that you're going to take them through. So when it comes to the target market and creating that marketing strategy, it's understanding, okay, if your target market is, you said damaged, what was it? Damaged
property.
Damaged property. If it's damaged property, the question is, what do they naturally do next after the damaged property? Okay. And you follow what you think they're going to do next. And what you want to do in your marketing is interject yourself into what you think that they're going to do. Does that make sense? Is it Hernan that asked that? Does that make sense? So you have to be in the head of your target market and say, after you receive damaged property, Hernan, what are you going to do next? And you say, you're going to do this and you're going to do this. So you want to be you interject yourself at that spot. Lynn has her hand up.
Well, Lynn wants to speak and you're spotlighted, so she can't. Lynn, if you would like to unmute and simply speak.
Okay, sorry with my voice. I just wanted to say, Nikki, that was an amazing presentation. It's so easy to follow and assimilate, and you're inspiring. So I just want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you. Amazing, really excellent.
Thank you for that, Lynn.
Thank you. Azameta asks, I am in financial services and education. Who will be my ideal clients? I feel like everyone needs financial education.
Yes, and as you noticed earlier, when I talked about the solar system, when you speak to everyone, you're not really speaking to anyone, right? So the statistics was showing that 70 some odd % resonate with messages that really connect with me, right? So when you're looking at financial services, one thing you can think about, and I've worked with a number of financial services company, is there you have a whole bunch of services available. Choose the one that you feel most comfortable with, you think has the highest probability of attracting people. Look at your own network. What type of people do you have access to? So if you are a parent of young kids, you might decide to target families because you're already have, a family and you can relate to them. I once had one person tell me, she says, Nikki, I think I want my target market to be divorced women. And I said, sure, that could definitely be a target market. And then I looked at her and I said, are you divorced? Have you gone through a divorce? She goes, no. I said, how are you going to connect with these people? There's no connection there, right? Like, you don't understand what these people are going through in their mind and stuff like that. So choose something that you can at least speak to that is going to be easy for you, right? And that's what happens. That's the problem when you speak to everyone. And, how many people know weight loss specialists, right? Or health specialists, right? When I had health issues and my blood pressure was going up, I needed to get a trainer to help me lose some weight. There were so many people out there that specialized in weight loss, and I'm going, oh, I don't know which one to choose. Until one day I met this person who specialized in weight loss for people with heart problems, heart conditions, heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure. That person got me from a size 14 to a size 2 and controlled my blood pressure for 7 years, right? Because he specialized in that one specific niche. And when you specialize in that specific niche, people will pay more because they see the value. You know what they're talking about.
Thank you, Nikki. We have to wrap up now. Allow me to do so by thanking you on behalf of EIN's 74,000 members. As usual, you have delivered. You said what you were going to do. You delivered it, and you delivered it with your normal, high energetic, totally lovable style. And I thank you to the sun and back.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for inviting me.